Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Steelix. In its shadow form, Steelix got a bit of a buff with Season 16 with the addition of Breaking Swipe into its charge move pool. This thing is now top tier meta in the Great League, and I had a lot of fun with it. And also on this team, Dewgong in the back. On the safe swap, to be exact, to draw out any potential fighters or steel types, because Dewgong has excellent play into those, so that Deoxys can come back in, take out that hard counter to Steelix, freeing up Steelix to absolutely close the game strong. I had been hanging on to this shadow for a while. I looked at the IVs and thought for sure it was trash, but I checked it and it turns out to be a decent Steelix. So here we are. Diggersby, not a good lead, not the best lead. Although we are doing super effective fast move damage, this is very much like the G-Fisk matchup where the charge move damage is not very meaningful. So what we're going to do is go for the back-to-back Psycho Boost to really whittle away at this Diggersby here, and then try and perhaps catch a Scorching Sands onto our Dewgong. We're going to throw one try and catch, but they were looking to overfarm. Good on them for that. Exercising brilliant patience. So now we will end up absorbing a Scorching Sands, although the Diggersby does have residual energy, and we draw it in a Zoom Roll. Holy smokes, this is brilliant. Steelix wants nothing to do with a Zoom Roll. Zoom Roll, one of its hardest counters in the entire Great League meta, so this is absolutely fantastic for us. And we're actually just going to go straight drill run in this matchup. Not going to look to debuff anything because if we can get this low, perhaps within Thunderbolt range, our Deoxys will be able to comfortably take out this very, very difficult challenge for our Steelix. So that's the play. Get it low with the neutral drill runs. They are going to throw their energy here, not wanting to get too low. But the damage, I'm afraid, has been done as we will outpace by a turn to their next play rough here. And we do get to this Thunderbolt here. And it'll be interesting to see if this Azu shields. But no, they don't generally like to shield the bulky Azu. And they've got a Froslass in the back, so going to pivot into Shadow Steelix. And it is time to unleash. Holy smokes. We employed a team effort on that Diggersby, so it is now effectively neutralized. Going to shield this super effective Scorching Sands and look to get off a Breaking Swipe debuff here. Just to take a little bit of the sting off of this super effective fast move damage. We don't want to get in any uncomfortable range for that Froslass. It does still have shields up on their end. I'm going to go for another Scorching Sands on us, and we will expend both shields to preserve health. And now, let the debuffing begin. Holy smokes, Steelix. A debuffing machine. And we are running Psychic Fangs. It's a little faster to get to, and it does help out with some pure fighting types in certain circumstances. But they're going to hit us with a debuff Shadow Ball. Steelix quite bulky, even in its shadow form. Doesn't KO. Going to go for another Breaking Swipe and likely grab the final shield, I would presume. That we do. And Deoxys was just 4 counters off from a Psycho Boost, and this Froslass is absolutely within Psycho Boost range. Debuffed Avalanche does not KO, and we make it to the move. Oh my goodness. Easily one of the best Steelix teams you can possibly run. We're saying bye-bye to the Froslass, courtesy of our Deoxys. My goodness, this team, very powerful, guys. I'm telling you, very powerful team. Good game, well played. Ended up going 14-6 overall over 4 sets. I'm telling you, one of the best Steelix teams you can run. And here we go. Nightmare lead. We have a Drapion. We go into Dewgong, and we draw out the fighter. Dewgong doing its job to perfection here on the safe swap. So I like to just go straight Icy Wind in this Metacham matchup, especially knowing that shields are up. And it is not generally a good matchup for Dewgong, but it does put in the work. It's very close. A lot closer than you would expect. Dewgong ends up getting the Metacham quite low, generally right around 20% health or so, which is perfect farm down range for Deoxys with a resisted counter farm down. So playing out actually a little less than 20%. Dewgong makes it close because it is quite powerful. We're going to wait down the switch clock because we don't get alignment, and we're going to look to farm this Medi all the way down here. Load up on energy, but they pivot. Oh my goodness, they pivot back into the Drapion. I don't know, maybe got a little impatient, didn't want to get farmed down, but that works to our advantage because we had a steel type with a ground typing, which allows us to triple resist their poison, sting, fast mid pressure. Going for a breaking swipe because I don't anticipate shielding their next crunch. I wanted to take the sting off, and as you can see, Steelix comfortably tanks 2 crunches, especially when you've applied a debuff. And we make quick work of that Drapion. That's a major obstacle out of the way for Deoxys. Holy smokes. And they have an Azu in the back, so oh my goodness, this feels so bad for this trainer. Unfortunately, they threw the game by aggressively pivoting back into that Drapion because they would have had the easy alignment, and yeah, they realized they zigged when they should have zagged a little bit. Unfortunate for them, but that did work out for us. Good game, well played to them. So if you've got a good Steelix and you're still looking for a solid team, this one might just be for you. It was amazing. And here we go. Hypno lead. Hypno making a bit of a resurgence. The psychic type that generally beats all other psychic types. So what we're going to do is look to throw this Thunderbolt. We're not going to stay in here. We want to chip and employ a team effort on a very tanky Pokemon like Hypno. So we will shield the potential Shadow Ball. That would be bad news for us. And we do successfully shield that up. So now what we're going to do is throw with not the best timing, but there's a method to the madness. We want to set up a catch on the next Shadow Ball here so that we don't have to go completely down on shields, and we do successfully catch while also getting an Ice Shard through. You love to see it. So that's not going to do very much damage at all, as Dewgong is about as tanky as it gets. And speaking of tanky, holy smokes, we draw out an Umbreon. So I was hoping to perhaps draw out a Scrafty, as Scrafty is generally paired with Hypno in the back, but they bring their dark type of choice happens to be Umbreon, so this is okay, especially at a health disadvantage. We can still put in the work here because we are slowly but surely whittling away at the attack stat on this Umbreon with our Icy Winds here, and we do win CFP tie, so we play to that. Just to not allow them to get any extra snarls through, because I do believe they will take us out in the zeros at that much of a health disadvantage. So not allowing them is to get any extra energy or residual energy on the back end is ideal. But they've caught on. They are no longer playing this to a CMP tie that they do not win, but that is okay. We're going to apply one more debuff, but they pivot again. Holy smokes, and now it is time for Steelix to unleash yet again. My goodness, they are at a Shadow Ball, but it looks like they were trying to get off a Focus Blast. Not gonna happen. The Dragon Tails with the Shadow bonus were just a bit too OP. Going for a breaking swipe on the low health Umbreon. I suppose they want to get off this damage and not allow it to go to waste, but that's an interesting play because we're just going to farm down. And that Dark Pulse was debuffed, did not do very much damage, and they've got a Togekiss in the bag. So a move like Heavy Slam would be nice here. I think as for the moveset, you could go anyway. There's no right or wrong moveset. I think it comes down to team comp. So we're rolling Psychic Fangs because it gives us the flexibility to control whether we debuff the defense or the attack, and that was over. One Psycho Boost was going to take out that Togekiss with no shields. They saw what was coming. Good game, well played to them. Gosh, I still look at those IVs on the Steelix and still can't get over that it happens to be a good Steelix with those IVs. But here we go, Toxicroak. This is okay. One Psycho Boost, definitely one-shots. I believe even a double debuffed Psycho Boost one-shots from just about full health. We call that successfully, knowing that we do tank a Sludge Bomb, and now we're actually going to bait with the more expensive move. That is not something you often find yourself doing, but that is the nature of Defense Form Deoxys. And now we will shield. This could definitely be the Sludge Bomb. That would have been lights out for Deoxys, and they are out of there into their own Steelix. Nice shiny Steelix, not a Shadow. And it took me a minute to calculate what to do. So we are in here on the Steelix with our Dewgong here, and they're going Psychic Fangs on us. I think if a Pokemon has the potential to hit you with super effective damage, you should definitely be going Breaking Swipe. And I think if you happen to be running Psychic Fangs along with Breaking Swipe, if they're doing resisted damage, such as, let's say, like a Knockdown, you're good to go for the Psychic Fangs and farm down. That's how I play Psychic Fangs, Breaking Swipe, Steelix. I think that's the most effective way to play that. But they're going straight Psychic Fangs. That's debuffing the defense, not the attack. We're still at baseline with our attack stat, and we take out the Steelix. Flip and switch with Dewgong. You'd love to see it. And they've got a Sceptile in the back. Also a Pokemon benefiting from the Breaking Swipe updates. Let's see who prevails here with Breaking Swipe. We are in this with our Steelix. They did build up to an EQ. We shield out of caution, but they go for the Leaf Blade, and we are going to rip off a Breaking Swipe here. Sceptile, not known for its bulk, quite squishy. Not a Pokemon I would recommend running. They pivot back to the Toxicroak with no shields, and we were absolutely loaded. Holy smokes. We're saying bye-bye to that Toxicroak, 1,000%. And we've got another Psycho Boost here, locked and loaded for this squishy Sceptile. Just about takes it out, and they end up throwing energy, so this is over. This is about as over as I've ever seen, and they're not running Breaking Swipe. That was interesting. Very interesting to see, but Steelix does take it out with one Dragon Tail to finish it off. Good game, well played to our opponent. This Steelix team, easily one of my new favorite teams for Season 16. It was putting in the work, but not with a lead like that. Holy smokes, that's an awful lead. Another awful lead. Gonna pivot into Dewgong, and they're staying in a little bit. This thing did get an update with Trailblaze, the brand new grass Flame Charge clone, so we will shield that out of caution. And we're actually going to bait. They're staying in here. They may be weak to a Dewgong in the back. Not sure why they would stay in here, but we're going to take advantage of that, grab that shield right back. We did successfully bait with the threat of a potential super effective drill run, and they make a brilliant catch onto a Dewgong of their own. That's an amazing catch. A savage catch, I should say. So what we're gonna do is, because they stayed in a little long on that on our Dewgong, we're gonna take advantage of the misaligned switch clocks. We're not gonna throw a move. They caught a debuffing move. We're just gonna load up and stall long enough to get our Deoxys back in onto this Dewgong. This is precisely where we want our Deoxys, especially knowing that they have a dark type like Skuntank lurking on their team here. We do have to eat a debuffing Icy Wind, but we're still going to fire off this super effective Thunderbolt. Not going to KO, but it will put it within perfect counter down range, allowing us to load up, but not before they get off one final move here. That is okay, because our Dewgong put in work on that Skuntank that I'm sure will come back in. They are very close to a move on their Skuntank, but we are also close to a Thunderbolt here. I do believe we will hit the CMP here. Especially because they like to catch, very good at catching. This ensures that they cannot catch this and will either have to lose their Skuntank or give up their final shield. Either one works for us. And we're going to fire this off, grabbing that final shield and combo playing, fully exploiting the misaligned switch clocks. We had the move. We're saying bye-bye to the Skuntank. That is how you put in the work. You have to try and gain an advantage where you can. So if you know that switch clocks are misaligned, you got to take advantage of that. And they've got a Lantern and our strategy working to perfection. Dewgong put in the work there. So now, I don't know why we're waiting. I think I was just calculating if I could make it to a move in time, but they don't allow that anyways. It looks like we would have made it to the Psycho Boost. So we do force them to throw, and now it's all up to Steelix on a Lantern just below 50% health. I think we'll do okay here. These Dragon Tails with the Shadow bonus are absolutely chunking on the very bulky Lantern. I don't believe this move will KO, but one or two Dragon Claws should just about get the job done. And yeah, one Dragon Tail does the trick on the Lantern. Steelix, I'm telling you, it is the real deal. That's going to be a good game. Well played. I actually took inspiration from a very strong team from a few seasons ago, which was Dee, Wally, and Reggie. So this is the updated version of that old team. But here we go. Quagsire! Holy smokes! If your opponent has a Quagsire, this is precisely where you want to see it. Steelix wants nothing to do with the Mud Boy, but we grab an early shield, so I was thinking perhaps Deoxys would have some play on what they have in the back, so we safe swap into Dewgong here. We do survive a super effective Stone Edge, as you can see, because particularly because this isn't a Shadow. We would have survived from the Shadow, obviously, but that would have gotten us a lot lower. And we tank a Mud Bomb as well. Dewgong, that ball comes in so clutch in the Great League. It's a beautiful thing. Got to fire off the Icy Wind after overloading. They do let that go as they do survive, and they make a play into a Registeel, so our overfarm will pay off here. They do survive this drill run, of course, but it's not fun for them. Gets them at about 60% health or so. And can we make it to another one? We just cannot. Those lock-ons were a bit too oppressive. That is unfortunate. But now we can align Deoxys onto this nightmare for our Steelix. Holy smokes. Quagsire and Reggie. So far, not too many places for our Steelix to go. We do tank a Zap Cannon, no problem. We cannot tank two, and we cannot farm down with Steelix, so we are shielding this next move here. Focus Blast from the Reggie, and now we will look to aggressive farm down this Reggie. Can we make it? We do, just in time. DD putting in the work, taking out another nightmare matchup for our Steelix. They've got to have something decent for Steelix, and they do. Holy smokes, they're running Nerfed Noctowl. So we're just going to chip. I was expecting Quag. We do Blind Throw. That's okay. The Quag is hanging on by a thread. They will make it to a move, but we have a shield. Going to throw the Breaking Swipe just to take a little bit of the sting off of these super effective mud shots. They shield. That is beautiful. We'll take that, and we will return the shield as we will not be needing any shields to take care of that Noctowl at all. And we do farm down, loading up on energy even more, and they do promptly top left as Nerf Noctowl was not doing anything to our Steelix. Good game, well played to them. And I gotta say, Steelix far exceeded my expectations. It was quite refreshing. What's not refreshing is a Froslass lead on our Deoxys. Holy smokes. I do like to chip them with a Psycho Boost first, though. They generally let it go, and that is precious chip damage that can keep Froslass manageable, because this is a Pokemon that can easily get out of control as we do pivot into our Dewgong. Drawing out a Deoxys. This is also not necessarily a Pokemon that Steelix wants to see, but one of the better counter users for Steelix to see because of our ground steel typing. So they do tank our Icy Wind. I do like to go straight Icy Wind on the counter users just to mitigate the super effective fast move pressure. And we're going for Icy Wind number 2. They have yet to throw a move. And seeing that they let both of those go, I'm thinking we shield one of these. They are double debuffed. They will obviously make it to another one. I did not realize it. I did not anticipate them running Rock Slide, I should say, but they are running Rock Slide, and can we get them in 3? We do, just as they are getting to a Psycho Boost. That is brilliant. That was the perfect farm down. We had to give up a shield, but we control the alignment. I would much rather have my Steel-type Steelix onto this Ice-type Froslass, and we're going to bait with an Icy Wind. Grabbing the shield, baiting successfully, and because they've been debuffed, it forces them to throw. That was 100% the play there, because their health had already been compromised due to tanking the Psycho Boost, so that was brilliant by us. And now we can align the Steelix onto this Froslass. Yes, they've been debuffed, but Steelix with health advantage is quite valuable, because the more health you have, the longer you are on the field and able to apply the debuffs. And oh my gosh, they've got a nerfed Altaria lurking. There are few better answers to a Pokemon like Altaria than Steelix. Holy smokes. We tank an unnecessarily nerfed Sky Attack, no problem, as that is resisted. And yeah, Altaria, much less effective due to the unnecessary Sky Attack nerf. Very unfortunate. And all they have left is this poor Froslass, and they do let it go, realizing it was lights out. There was no hope there for them, unfortunately. Good game, well played to our opponent. I gotta say, Steelix far exceeded my expectations. I wasn't sure if it was being overly hyped, but no, it's legit for sure. And here we go. Speaking of Steelix, we are here on one non-shadow here, and they did build up to a potential crunch. I just felt it in my bones. We decide to shield out of caution, and that's a decent shield. It would not have KO'd, but would have been doing some meaningful damage. So we're going to fire off the Psycho Boost and look to dip into our Dewgong here. After trying, well, we threw one and we wanted to set up a catch. That's what we were trying to do, but we were not successful in doing that. And instead, we catch a debuffing Breaking Swipe for our troubles as they make a play into a Metacham here. Going to mitigate the defense drop on that breaking swipe with an Icy Wind on this Medicham here. We're now back to baseline. And I'm going to just play out this Medi matchup. We've seen this on this channel many times. We just go straight Icy Wind to mitigate the super effective counter damage. The Psychic does not KO because we are about as tanky as it gets, and it was nerfed with Season 16. So they do take us out. We put in work with our Dewgong, still relatively healthy on our Deoxys. And they are going to throw another move here. Whatever it is, it's not going to be very meaningful whatsoever. Medicham does tend to struggle up against Deoxys, as many of us may all know. Going to fire off this Thunderbolt to get rid of the Medi, but they shield and pivot back, or pivot into a Trevenant. So, oh, that is beautiful. They gift wrapped that for us, not necessarily knowing what we have in the back. So, yeah, we dodged a bullet with that Trevenant lurking in the back with our Deoxys. So, gonna go for the Psychic Fangs here. I actually want to leave this matchup relatively unhealthy while getting a decent farm off of this Trev. So, yeah, we go for the defense drop rather than the attack drop because, again, we don't need a healthy Steelix knowing that they have a Medi in the back. And just going to look to throw with proper timing. 3 of our Dragon Tails is proper timing on a Pokemon with a 2-turn move. We're saying bye-bye to the Trevenant. And that Steelix is still also hanging on by a thread. Gonna go for the Psychic Fangs to debuff the defense here to allow these resisted Dragon Tails to do a little bit more damage. But they don't stick around for that. They pivot back into the Medi. We have loaded energy. And gonna look to get rid of the Medi with a Psycho Boost, and we are at a Psycho Boost here. Although debuffed, the Steelix is quite compromised, so it should just about get it done, but not quite. That is okay. Our own Steelix should be able to take this out, and this is lights out. But no, they go down to the counter, so yeah. A back and forth battle, but we are left standing in the end. Good game, well played to our opponent. All of the moving parts on this Steelix team complement each other beautifully. And here we go. We've got a Nerf knockdown lead here. Going to pivot into our Dewgong, drawing out the Medicham. That is what Dewgong is on this team to do. So, doing its job quite effectively. Going to fire off our first Icy Wind here and get this debuff train rolling on this Medicham. Again, this is a slightly negative matchup for Dewgong. But for some reason, we decide to see if they will take a shield advantage here, but in hindsight, that is wishful thinking, but we're going to try here because we would much rather have our Steelix on that knockdown, but no, they declined the silent offer, so we will cut the losses and let this go and just come in with our Deoxys here onto this Medi, of course. As far as team reading, it makes perfect sense for there to be a Lantern in the back, so not the end of the world for Steelix, but they pivot back in so many aggressive pivots from our opponents during these sets. It was quite astounding to see. So they have sort of gift wrapped this here a little bit for us. Still reading that there is perhaps a Lantern in the back. And Deoxys at full health should do okay up against Lantern. And we're just going to take out this Noctowl. So that's good because Noctowl is not the best answer for our Deoxys as they can hit us with the super effective Shadow Balls. And perhaps we should not have shielded there because we've now given them a shield advantage. That's a bit of a misplay looking back now as we do take out the Noctowl and the Medi is still hanging on by a thread a little bit. Going to go for the Psychic Fangs. And, yeah, it's an Azu, so it's not a Lantern. Oh, that is unfortunate because Azu up a shield. Yeah, I think shielding during that Noctowl battle was a misplay because Azu up a shield certainly beats Deoxys. So, yeah, we zigged when we should have zagged there. We would have survived the second Shadow Ball from that Owl, and they still would not have been able to farm down. So, yeah, we somewhat threw this game here, even though they gave us an opening by gift wrapping that Noctowl for us. That is very unfortunate because this Azu is basically going to take out the remainder of our team. That is quite unfortunate for us. I don't know what they do with a Registeel lead, but that is beside the point because we don't have one. And yeah, we top left. We exit stage left because we threw the game. My goodness, you can't win them all. That's okay. No big deal. You cannot win them all. Good game well played to them. That is the team, my friends. Oh, this team. This would have been a 5-0 had we not thrown that last one. So, yeah, this team, like I said, I was able to go 14-6 over 4 sets. We did have one negative set, a 2-3. Just the hard counters were coming in full force on that particular set. But all the other 3 were all 4-1. So this team is easily the best, one of the best, if not the best Steelix you can possibly run. It is a team that I will revisit as the season progresses in the Great League. So yeah, Steelix much improved with breaking swipe. As far as the second charge move, like I said, I really think that comes down to team comp. I don't think there is one right charge move. It really does. Second charge move, that is going to come down to team comp on that one. But we were rolling with Psychic Fangs just for the flexibility to give us the option to either debuff the attack or defense. I think that gives Steelix a lot of flexibility in the back. And Dewgong and Deoxys, one of the best cores you can possibly run. All of that, you put all that together, that's a recipe for a lot of success and a lot of wins in the Great League. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.